What's going on, folks? This is Mr. Apathy, Devlin James, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio. Okay, if I'll make this video now, I'm never going to make it at all. So, Russell Wilson finally popped a question to Ciara, huh? Well, we couldn't see that coming. Now, I know I'm late to the party in making this video and dealing with the subject, but hey, better late than never, I guess. On one side, you got Russell Wilson, the so-called on-point brother, right? Uh, Starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. I think he's 26 years old. Last year, he signed an $87 million contract with the Seahawks. All right, so he's a brother in his prime. He's a brother who's on point. Unlike some of the other brothers in the NFL, you don't see him in any type of scandal. You know, he doesn't have any kids from any strippers. He doesn't have like a number of different baby mamas. Right? You don't hear of him with any assault charges or anything like that. Seems like he's a good old church boy. No kids, even from a previous marriage, no children. I think he was married before to a white woman, and no kids from that marriage. So you have him on one end. Then on the other hand, you have Ciara, who I believe is 30 years old now. Right? I looked up her net worth. She's worth about $15 million, and her wealth came from her mediocre singing career. Mediocre, in my opinion. When's the last time she had a hit? Is what I keep hearing. And if you look at this woman's history, you see that she tends to like thugs. So, typical with black women. When they're young, they like the thugs. They mess around with thugs. They have babies by thugs, as she has a baby by Future. And then when they get older, into their 30s, that's when they start looking for the on-point brother like Russell Wilson. I mean, this is what every brother has been talking about in videos about this whole scenario. They love the thugs when they're young, but when they get older and they start hitting the wall and they have a bunch of kids, they want to find a nice on-point brother who they wouldn't even look at before. I think this is why a lot of brothers identify with this situation, because we're seeing this scenario play out before our eyes. You see, what a lot of black women don't understand is that black men see women like Ciara all the time. Low-level Ciaras. Right? Ciara's worth $15 million. She has a $15 million net worth. A lot of these women don't even have $5 to their name. But in the black community, I mean, throw a stone. You'll probably hit 10 women, 10 black women who are single moms who got kids for either thugs or ain't shit brothers. Right? Because they all do the same goddamn thing. And it's so, I mean, even talking about it, it's nauseating because it's like, at this point, it's like whatever. But they do the same thing. When they're young, they're attracted to the thugs. They're attracted to the bad boys. They go, they get knocked up. They get ran through by a number of bad boys. And then they end up with a couple fuck trophies. Children. And now, that guy is nowhere around. So what do? They look for the good guy. And the reason that a lot of black men are up in arms in this is like, oh, here the fuck we go again. Now we got Ciara. Even when they reach to a Ciara status, when they're worth so much money, they still do the dumb bitch shit, which is get knocked up by a thug. I mean, seriously, there's so many black women have kids for these no good brothers. A lot of these women are single mothers. I mean, you don't believe me? I I direct your attention to your nearest dating site. Plenty of fish. Or better yet, black people meet. If you're ever bored, create a profile. And you go and search and try and find one or try and find 20 women, 20 black women who don't have kids. Good luck. So we see Ciara all the time. We see the Ciara scenario all the time. And the reason that a lot of black men are up in arms because as a black man, it's very hard to really get to a high place, a high social pecking order, I guess, when you're black. There's so many obstacles. So for a black man to get to a Russell Wilson status where you're a starting black quarterback commanding so much money, it's very difficult to do. And I'm not taking anything away from the brother. He's a very gifted athlete. But when you get to that level, when you're part of the elite and you're black, what the fuck are you doing? Wifing up a woman like Ciara, who, yeah, she's beautiful and all that shit, but look at the guys she's dated in the past. Look at the guys who ran through her in the past. And ironically, none of those guys tried to wife her up. 50 didn't try to wife her up. Bow Wow didn't try to wife her up. Who else? And probably Ray J ran through her too. I think Trey Songz did. None of these guys tried to wife her up. But here comes Russell Wilson, who could have any freaking woman that he wants with his status, but he's going for Ciara. And it's like, what the fuck? Why are you going with this this typical dumbass black bitch that gets knocked up by some thug? And she's not in the scenario with your everyday black woman. And still she gets knocked up by the thug. Come on, man. Stop selling yourself short, bro. That's why a lot of black men are upset. But at the end of the day, it's his life. And if he wants to fuck up his life in that way, that's his business. And then you have the black women. You have the black women that are saying things like, oh, these guys on YouTube, these black men, they're like bitter bobbies. They hate seeing the black woman win, yada, yada, yada. And they're, of course, cheering on this union between Russell Wilson and Ciara. They see this as a great thing, because this is a wonderful thing. And the reason that a lot of them are cheering this on is because a lot of them are these low-level Ciaras I'm talking about. They were the ones who were, when they were young, fucking around with the thugs, and they came up with a couple fuck trophies on their own. The only difference is, they don't have the wealth that Ciara does. And they don't have the body that Ciara does. So many of them weren't able to make the transition from the thug loving to the good guy. To get a good guy to basically come in and clean up their mess by the time they turn 30. A lot of them didn't cash out of the game in time when they still look halfway decent. So now they're calling men, black men, who are like, okay, Russell, what the fuck are you doing? You're basically wasting your potential on this no good ass bitch that was dumb enough to get knocked up by a thug. What are you doing? They're calling men like that bitter bodies, which I think the whole thing is hilarious, really. But you see, they look at this. You see this picture I have up here? This is what Russell Wilson is in for. There's a reason I chose this picture. You see how Russell's all the way over on the right. You got Future all up in the middle, looking all niggardly and shit. And then you got Future's baby. And then you have Ciara. See, when you get involved with women like this, women who are single mothers and you ain't got no kids of your own, you got a lot of shit that you're gonna have to deal with. And this is the black woman winning one. This is what it is. That you're gonna get a man who has no kids of his own to take you and your slop. That's what the black woman winning is, huh? If that's the case, I hope more and more black women continue to lose And that's what's happening because thankfully more and more black men are waking up and saying, hey, listen, I'm looking at you, right? I'm not going to invest the best of me into you if you don't measure up. So if you've been dealing with thugs in your past, if you have kids by thugs, bitch, I don't even want to be bothered. You see, this Russell Wilson and Ciara marriage, engagement, whatever you want to call it, is a black woman's wet dream. It's her fantasy. See, they want to be able to fuck off their lives when they're young, to be socially irresponsible with their pussies when they're young, fucking whoever they want, whatever thug, whatever no good guy that they want, with no sense of accountability, no sense of repercussion. Then they want to be able to, when they get older, to have some guy come in and be the maintenance cleanup guy, to clean up the mess. Some guy who is in a better situation, some guy who has no kids of their own, some guy who's in a very high financial status, to come in and clean up the mess. This is their wet dream. And more than anything else, what I think they really love about Russell Wilson is the fact that this guy is putting more of a value on Ciara's pussy, on Ciara's box, by electing to not have sex with her, to abstain from having sex with her until after he put a ring on it and marry her. Because here you have, the guy is putting a bigger value on this woman's pussy than she put herself on her own pussy. I mean, look at the guys that she fucked in the past. Future, 50 Cent, Chad Moss, fucking Bow Wow. And those guys, you know, she didn't wait. She didn't have them put a ring on it. She didn't make any of them wait or whatnot. They just ran up in her and did their thing and, you know, left her in the dust. But here comes Russell. I'm not gonna have sex with her until I put a ring on it. I'm gonna make an honest woman out of her. Yeah, good luck with that one, pal. I tell you. So anyway, this is the picture of what this guy is getting into. The black women like to present this picture here. Oh, it's black love. It's beautiful, where it's just the two of them. And they try to sell this to you. You know, when you get involved with them if they have kids. Oh, it's the two of us. But no. Nope, you got to deal with the whole kid and caboodle when you get involved with single mothers. You got to deal with them. You got to deal with their kids, where usually they have behavioral issues, these kids. And then if the father's around, you got to deal with his ass too. It's a lot of drama. And I'm telling you, I give this marriage 3 years at the most before it ends in divorce. And before Russell ends up paying alimony. It's going to happen. So now this chick, she's going to be able to get, she's going to continue to get child support from Future. And she's going to get alimony from Russell Wilson. Things go south. Because the guy is so stupid, he's not even going to get a prenup. This guy's so fucking stupid, he doesn't even want to get a prenup. So he's asking for it. He might as well just give her a loaded gun he already has, that she can use on him anytime. It is what it is. It's a match made in hell, if you ask me. Okay, guys. It's a Sunday. I got a lot of shit to do. I got to finish my workout. I got to prepare dinner. And I got other crap to do to get ready for another work week. So I'm going to wrap this video up by saying this. Again, I reiterate. I give this marriage between Russell Wilson and Ciara no more than 3 years. Okay? And I'll tell you why. I'll give you the 3 reasons why this marriage is not going to last more than 3 years. The first one being baby Future. That's right, baby Future. You see, and this is another testament why you don't get involved in with single moms. If you yourself, man, don't have children of your own, okay? Let the bitch go and get with another person, a man who has kids with a woman. And if she got kids by a thug, hopefully that man would have kids for some hood rat so they can balance the bullshit off with the drama that they're going to be dealing with. Okay? Between the two of them. Because, yeah, number one, baby Future. This poor kid is forever going to be the pawn between Mommy Ciara, Daddy Future, and Stepdaddy Russell Wilson. And everyone is going to be pulling him in different directions. So you're going to see a kid who's going to grow up with a lot of psychological and emotional issues due to the situation that these people are bringing him into. And what's going to happen when these issues start to surface? What is Mommy Ciara going to do? Well, she's going to do what every dumb bitch does. She's going to throw money at it. Right? So you're going to have a spoiled, entitled kid with a lot of behavioral issues. So that's the first thing. Baby Future. Alright? Reason number two, and the biggest reason of all, why the marriage between Russell Wilson and Ciara is not going to go past 3 years. Reason number two, Big Papa Future himself. Now, he's already made it known publicly that he doesn't like Russell Wilson being around his son. Doesn't like the fact that he's in his son's life, right? And Future knows how to push Ciara's buttons. And believe me, he will. Because he wants more than nothing to destroy whatever relationship she has with Russell Wilson. And he will be able to do that because, one, he can push her buttons. I mean, I saw something on, I heard something on the radio where Ciara was at some type of award show where one of the nominees was Future. And she was announcing the nominees. When she got to Future, she couldn't even say his name. Okay? So this chick she still feels a certain way about him. And believe me, he knows. And he's going to use that. So number one, he knows how to push her buttons. Number two, she's such a stupid bitch and she hasn't moved on emotionally from him that she will allow him to push her buttons. Okay? And I'll give you an example. I mean, you saw it already. When he was calling her a bad mother and this, that, and the other thing. There's going to be more of that. You know, he's going to say every time that she's planning to go on a trip with Russell Wilson, he's going to be in her ear. Oh, you're taking another trip with that guy and not paying attention to my son? All you do is go on these trips. I see you on social media, on Snapchat, on all these different things, on Facebook. I mean, how much time are you spending with my son? You're a horrible mother. She's going to feel a certain way about that. And then there's going to be more. He's going to get on Russell Wilson. Yeah, look at you. Think you're something special. With this lame-ass Duncan Pinnerhughes-looking motherfucker. I bet you he doesn't lay it down like I do. You know? I know you love that. You love that rough. You know, you like the way I come at you and I dig you deep. I bet he don't lay it down like that. His whack ass. Probably don't even hit you from behind because he thinks it's impersonal or some shit. He's going to get all up in her ear. Right? And this is going to make her feel a certain way. And it's going to spill into the relationship that she has with Russell Wilson. And in time, it's going to take its toll. Because you're going to see, like, she's going to start pulling away from him. She's going to start canceling out on events that they have together because she feels like a bad mom. And she is probably going to miss that thug loving. She's probably going to be squirming in the bed, you know, with that pillow all up in her coochie, thinking about the nights that Future used to hit it hard, him and all the other thugs that she done fucked in the past. So reason number two, Big Papa Future. He is going to destroy that relationship from the inside out. by getting in Ciara's ear every chance she gets and pushing her buttons. Reason number 3 that the marriage between Russell Wilson and Ciara will fail or implode upon itself in a matter of 3 years is because of Ciara herself. Okay, in the last part I discussed how Future is going to be pushing her buttons and getting in her ear and attacking her from that aspect. And that's going to eventually wear on her. But more than that, and to all you young guys listening, I want you to pay attention to this part. Anytime you're dealing with a woman, be it a single mom or any other woman who has dealt with nothing but thugs and bad boys before she met you, you should always be skeptical. Because that's her preference. She likes thugs, she likes bad boys, they turn her on. I'm willing to bet that if it hasn't already happened, Ciara's getting bored of Russell Wilson. She's getting bored of his nice guy routine. She's going to be squirming for that thug penis. Because let me tell you something about single moms. Especially single moms that dealt with no good guys in the past. They haven't gotten that out of their system. Eventually, they're going to end up fucking with the same kind of guys they've dealt with. Any guy who's been in a relationship with a single mother and has experienced this, please comment in the comment field. Let them know I'm telling the truth here. Because I've experienced some of this myself. Single moms are some of the most unfaithful, entitled women you will ever meet. And eventually, Ciara's true nature is going to come out in that relationship. She's going to start missing that thug penis, if she isn't already. And I'll tell you what she'll probably do. First, she'll probably try and change Russell's image. You know, she'll say things like, have you ever thought about, maybe getting a tattoo or something? I think that would look cool on you. Or, what about braiding your hair and maybe getting dreads? That'd be a new, nice look. Huh? Don't you think? I think you'd look cute in dreads. But then finally, what about wearing skinny jeans? Huh? I think skinny jeans would look good on you. So if you start seeing Russell Wilson changing his look with dreads and pants hanging off his ass and hat off to the side, you know what's happening. So she'll try that first. And then eventually, she'll break down. And if she doesn't run back to Future, it might be some new up-and-coming thug. Because keep in mind now, Russell Wilson, he's a football player. He's a quarterback. They have a certain time when they have to go to football camp to prepare for the next season. So he's going to be out of the house for a while. And believe me, when it comes to Ciara, it's going to be going down in the DM while he's at football camp. So, reason number 3, Ciara herself. Because you can't trust a woman who's dealt with nothing but thugs and bad boys in her past. Eventually she's going to run back to that. Because that's what she loves. That's what she likes. The nice guy is just a maintenance man. And eventually, he's going to be asked out. Well guys, I really got to get going. So that's it for me in this video. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned.